Yo, what's going on? Mike from Mike Talk Sports. In the 2023 NFL Draft, in the 5th round, the Arizona Cardinals selected Clayton Tune, quarterback out of Houston. And with Kyler Murray, our starting quarterback, out for the beginning of the season, the question I'm going to answer today is, can Clayton Tune win out the starting job and be our Week 1 starter? Outside of Kyler Murray and Clayton Tune, at the moment, the Cardinals have 3 other quarterbacks on the roster. Those quarterbacks are Jeff Driskel, longtime backup in the NFL, a guy who was drafted in the later rounds of the NFL draft as a low floor, high ceiling guy. He really has not tapped into his ceiling at all, and in my opinion, he's going to be cut pretty quickly from this roster. So Jeff Driskel is not even a part of this quarterback debate, in my opinion. Then, of course, you have Colt McCoy, a guy who has made multiple starts for the Arizona Cardinals over the past couple of years. Really close friend to Kyler Murray, a guy Kyler Murray really advocated to bring into the quarterback room. He's one of Kyler Murray's childhood heroes, but in my opinion, he just has been looking very old and washed up as of late. But we will touch into Colt McCoy a little bit later on in the video. And then the last guy in this quarterback room is going to be the last guy to take a snap under center for the Arizona Cardinals. And I'm, of course, talking about David Blough, a guy we did sign to a 1-year extension going into this season. He actually played pretty solid last year as our backup quarterback and actually has time starting with the Detroit Lions and actually looked pretty solid when he started with the Detroit Lions as well. Analyzing Clayton Tune, he was a sleeper quarterback in this draft. A lot of people actually liked him. He played 5 years at Houston, and he actually played in every single one of those 5 years, which is a good positive coming out of Clayton Tune. He's a guy who should be able to grasp an NFL playbook pretty quickly on into training camp. Now, he only does have 2 full seasons as a starter, but in those 2 full seasons, he put up very impressive numbers, and his tape actually looked pretty damn good considering the level of competition he did play in, and considering he did have a very good receiver in Tank Dell. His last season at Houston with the Cougars, he put up 4,074 yards, 40 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. One of the more impressive stats coming out of Clayton Tune last year is he led the Cougars in rushing yards. And first and foremost, that is the argument for Clayton Tune at a surface level. Do I think this quarterback competition job is going to come down to who plays better in practice, and more importantly, who plays better in those preseason games? I absolutely do. But Clayton Tune, the main argument you want to use for Clayton Tune starting Week 1 is he has the most similar skill set to our starter. And whenever a backup quarterback who's trying to win a backup quarterback job has the closest skill set to the starting quarterback, usually the coaching staff gives that guy the starting job. Clayton Tune ran about a 4.65 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine, and he actually in college shows off the ability. Is he a Kyler Murray runner out there? Of course he's not, but Clayton Tune showed the ability, especially in the red zone, to be a really nice running threat. When you watch Clayton Tune play at Houston, he's a pretty smart, cerebral quarterback out there. In my opinion, by far his biggest trait that is a positive is his red zone work. He has really nice touch and accuracy on his football, and he has enough zip to get it in there in tight windows in the red zone. And again, he always has that threat of the run ability. Something I really liked out of Clayton Tune in college at Houston was his pocket presence. It seems as though he always knew the correct hitch to step up in the pocket, and more importantly, he does not bail from clean pockets. So in the red zone, he's going to give your offense enough time to operate and find the openings in the zone, which is really tough in a red zone defense considering how tight the field is, how little room you do have to operate. So Clayton Tune in the red zone, he's going to do a nice job of operating inside of the pocket, and once that pocket collapses, he does have that nice threat of the run. He has shown somewhat of an it factor at Houston. Really, the game I think of is that UTSA game. It's going to be the first clip in this video. It really reminds me of Kyler Murray versus the Raiders this past season, where he's just willing his team to win late in the 4th quarter and in overtime in those red zone opportunities. So getting into Colt McCoy a little bit and why, in my opinion, Colt McCoy is not going to win this starting job. First and foremost, he is a favorite of Kyler Murray, as I alluded to before, but more importantly, he was a favorite of Kliff Kingsbury. Kliff Kingsbury is no longer here, and this coaching staff is going to want to bring in their guys. And the first quarterback they have brought in to this coaching staff is Clayton Tune. So Clayton Tune definitely has that to his advantage. Colt McCoy, the arm talent has completely fallen off a cliff. Not that it was really good to begin with. He has zero mobility whatsoever, and he's just very fragile out there. He consistently gets hurt, and you cannot roster a quarterback, a backup quarterback, who consistently gets hurt. So in my opinion, I'm crossing out Colt McCoy and Jeff Driskel. In my opinion, the week 1 starter is going to be a competition between Clayton Tune and David Blough. Now, David Blough going into this season, if it was Kliff Kingsbury, he had the advantage of already knowing the playbook, but that is not going to be an advantage anymore for David Blough, as of course we are bringing in the Cleveland Browns quarterback coach to be our offensive coordinator. So in my opinion, without Kyler Murray there, we're really going to want to operate under the center with that power inside zone run. We're going to be hitting the intermediate parts of the field, some short checkdowns. I don't think we're going to be attacking the deep parts of the field just yet until Kyler Murray gets back, which again, in my opinion, is a positive for Clayton Tune. Something I don't like out of Clayton Tune necessarily is his arm strength once you get to the deep parts of the field. Can he throw a really nice 50-yard post? Yes, but once you start talking about some of those go routes, some of those deeper concepts to the outside part of the field, that's where Clayton Tune struggles, and that's where I think David Blough does have a bit of an advantage. I think pound for pound, David Blough probably has a slightly stronger arm than Clayton Tune does, and he is a taller, statured quarterback in there. So Kyler Murray is expected to get back the first month or two of the season. So analyzing our schedule at the beginning of the season, week 1, it's Washington. Week 2, it's the Giants. Week 3, it is the Cowboys to wrap up that NFC East tour. Then week 4, it's the 49ers. Week 5, it's the Bengals. Then week 6, it is going to be the Rams. In my opinion, it is vital that we pick up 2 out of these first 6 games. So we go 2-4, getting into the Kyler Murray era with this new coaching regime. And again, the starter, in my opinion, is going to be the guy who outperforms the other guy in preseason, in training camp. So really, the alternate title to this video is who is going to play better in the preseason, Clayton Tune or David Blough. I believe David Blough is going to show a slight more of consistency in the passing game in the preseason. I think Clayton Tune is going to show a lot of promise in both the passing and the running aspect of the game. I believe David Blough will be our week 1 starter. I think he will get the nod against Washington. I think it's just a little bit too soon for a rookie quarterback to jump in there and be the week 1 starter, especially a guy who was a 5th round pick. But my official prediction, I think David Blough plays 1 or 2 games, maybe struggles. And then I do think Clayton Tune is going to get a couple starts in there. And depending on how Clayton Tune plays, he could potentially lock up that backup job for good for Kyler Murray. Thanks for listening, guys. Let me know in the comment section below, who do you think will be the week 1 starter of the Arizona Cardinals?